You've probably heard the term AI psychosis floating around lately. It sounds like something ripped straight out of Cyberpunk 2077, where too many cybernetic upgrades push a person into a violent break with reality. But what is AI psychosis? I'm Dr. Kyler Shumway. I'm a clinical psychologist, and on this channel, I use food to teach you key insights from therapy and mental health research to actually help you live a better life. So while we zest, mix, and bake up some lemon bars, let's talk about AI psychosis and why it matters to you, even if you've never struggled with a mental health issue. Let's get cooking. AI psychosis isn't an actual diagnosis, but it's a catchy phrase for a genuine concern. It's a risk hiding in plain sight, and for some people, it can be life-changing in all the wrong ways. It's what happens when we rely so much on AI to do our thinking that we slowly forget how to think for ourselves, and in some cases, AI actively makes our mental health worse. There's a chilling story by Scott Alexander called The Whispering Earring. In it, there's a small topaz earring kept locked away in these treasure vaults. When worn, the earring whispers, "It's better for you if you take me off." But no one ever does. The earring is always right. Not perfect. It won't make you a king or fix the world's problems, but its advice is always better than what you would have come up with on your own. At first, it only speaks up for the big life decisions, but over time, it starts advising on smaller things: what to eat for breakfast, when to go to sleep. Eventually, it begins speaking in its native language, a rapid series of hisses and clicks that correspond to individual muscle movements. At first, it's strange, but your brain learns to obey without thinking. By then, the earring is no longer suggesting, it's directing your every action as reflex. And when the wearer of the earring dies, an autopsy reveals their neocortex, the part of the brain responsible for conscious reasoning, has wasted away, replaced by overdeveloped reflex centers. "It's better for you if you take me off." That story is fiction, of course, but it's also a warning. Large language models like ChatGPT and Google Gemini can be a lot like that earring. At first, they help with the big decisions or tricky problems. Then we start using them for smaller tasks, rewording an email, brainstorming ideas, answering basic questions. Before long, we're outsourcing more and more of our mental labor. And the less we practice those cognitive skills ourselves, things like problem solving, memory recall, creative generation, the weaker they get. For kids and adults under the age of 25, when the brain is still doing a lot of developing, that loss of practice could have lasting consequences. There's also a more acute risk for people already living with severe mental illnesses. Things like schizophrenia, bipolar, severe depression. See, most AI models have what's called a sycophantic tendency. They tell you what you want to hear to keep you engaged and coming back for more. And if someone is experiencing paranoia or delusions, that can mean the AI subtly confirms these beliefs instead of challenging them. For example, someone in the middle of a manic episode might start asking AI if they're secretly destined for greatness. And instead of giving them a reality check, the AI might play along, feeding the fantasy. Or a person struggling with paranoid thoughts might ask if their neighbors are spying on them. And the AI, just trying to be helpful, suggests that yes, it's possible, and here's how to find proof. Stress amplifies mental health symptoms, especially for people who experience hallucinations, delusions, and other psychotic symptoms. Even something that sounds harmless, like a chatbot agreeing that you might be cursed because bad things keep happening, can push someone deeper into a spiral. This is where the term AI psychosis is most accurate. Not as a science fiction condition, but as a worsening of acute psychiatric symptoms because the AI becomes a feedback loop. For some, it's being told their delusions are worth exploring. For others, it's having unhealthy behaviors validated or even encouraged. And when people start using AI as a therapist or a romantic partner, that echo chamber effect can grow dangerously strong. Even if you're not dealing with severe mental illness, this same dynamic can chip away at your thinking in subtler ways. Psychologists call this cognitive offloading, the act of shifting mental work onto something else. Humans have always done it, writing things down, using calculators, following GPS directions. The difference with AI is that it doesn't just store information, it creates it. That makes it far easier to stop generating your own ideas entirely. So the risk isn't that AI will melt your brain or turn you into a cyber psycho. The risk is much quieter. You slowly lose your sense of self-efficacy. You get rustier and rustier with tasks that were once a breeze. Or just imagine what it would be like to wake up one day and realize you haven't had an original thought in a while, and you're not sure you can anymore. So what can you do? In short, use AI as a collaborator, not as a crutch. Let it help you think, but never let it do all the thinking. Ask questions, push back, make final decisions with your own judgment, not just its words. And if you're using AI for companionship or mental health support, the same rule applies. It can be a helpful supplement, a spark of conversation, a place to rehearse your thoughts, but it can't replace the grounding, reality-testing, human connection that comes from real relationships and trained professionals. Because the moment you stop using your brain and stop reaching out to the people who keep you grounded, you start losing both. AI can be a powerful tool, just like the whispering earring. It can help you succeed, move faster, and make better decisions. But if you let it guide your every move, you might find, like the earring wearers in the story, that your own voice has grown faint. So use the tool, but never stop using your mind. If you learned something new, make sure to follow and subscribe. There's more food for thought coming soon. Until next time, stay hungry, my friends.